Next question will be from Casey Melvin from the Brothers of Paterson organization, and then Dr. Jonathan Hodges, School Board Commissioner.
I appreciate that, Councilman. Okay, to the commissioners, straight direct question. Approximately, give or take about a month ago, the governor of New Jersey was a few blocks away on Cal Street. And somebody in the audience, a crowd of 700 people were there, and as he was talking about education, I mean, for those who don't know, the Paterson Public Schools is state ran, right? For over what, 20 years? 22? 21. So the commissioner, the one responsible for our budgeting and our curriculum and things like that, he was a few blocks away on Cal Street. And as he was talking about his philosophy on education, Reverend Mike Henry said, fix the public schools. Right. Because somebody out of 700 people remembered that our school system is broken. And his alternative, he said, let me offer a competition. Let me offer competition as if that was a solution. Competition with charter schools. Yeah. The CEO of education in the city of Paterson believes that charter schools is the answer to fixing the public schools. He doesn't think it's money because he said we get a lot of money. I don't know if y'all remember that. We get a lot of money, so it's not money. He also blamed the teachers union. But I want to go to his alternative for fixing the public schools was charter schools. Do you guys, what's your position on charter schools first and foremost, and do you believe that that is the answer to fix our public schools?
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Mr. Sosa. Mr. Sosa and Commissioner, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. I believe in the condition we have, the education in Paterson right now, think or make now parents and people in the community to think what we want to do with education with our children. I am one of these fathers. Think about that, because we have really low education, really low parents' involvement, and the education that our children. When the governor said, I think we bring the charter school, my position is we have to take a decision which is the best choice to bring our children. Because if I have to move it from Paterson Brown because Paterson is unsafe, I think about that too. If you make a question about how many farmers we have, I think a lot of parents, a lot of people want to move from Paterson because we are out safe. We are unsafe. Now, if we have to stay here and then we're looking for better education for our children, we have to fight it to visit out a school together to take a day out. But that means he's sending to us because we don't do nothing for our children here. This is how I believe he thinks. I don't defend him. I don't defend him. But I believe the problem coming because he believes we don't doing nothing. That's why I'm coming to fight it from inside to be commissioner. Because I got a lot of things put it in the table to work together with the other commissioners.
Thank you.
We can fix it.
Thank you, Mr. Sosa. Commissioner Mendez.
Thank you, Councilman. Well, what I believe is that our budget is $570 million, and charter school for me is not the answer. But there's a lot of people making money on behalf of our children's education, and that's how I see charter school coming in. I mean, it's unacceptable the answer that the government is giving us. We ask them, fix our school, give us what we need, give us at least partial control, give us, the authority to educate our children. But they say no, and they don't want to do it. But instead of that, they planning to bring charter school. And the perception that the community have is that charter school are better than public school, and it's not like that. And we prove it by test score. We could check the test score from charter school and public school. They're not necessarily better than Paterson Public School. And I believe that we have to educate our parents, and we need to educate our community on regards of charter school. But definitely, that's my answer to that question. And for me, it's unacceptable what, the solution that he's bringing into the table. Let me just give you an example. At International High School, the state, SDA, they have spent over $200,000 because we don't have a CEO for the building. You think that that's acceptable? That's money for our children. We could spend that money fixing all the schools.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ms. Selly?
I think charter schools are an alternative. Everyone deserves a choice. However, we can't fix the public schools by giving someone another choice. We need to fix the schools. We as a community need to stand up and say no more. We need to fix it. We need leaders that are going to go out there and do the right thing and ask the right questions and demand the answers that are necessary and fix the problems. We can't fix it by going to a charter school. The other issue with the charter school that I have, and I hope it improves, is that they have a small percentage of special needs children that they serve compared to the public schools. So a lot of that funding is going to the charter schools, but they're not serving the same amount or even close to the same amount as the public schools. So yes, if you have 10 very bright children and 2 special needs, you're going to do a lot better than a public school has 30 children and 15 of them are special needs and 50 of them aren't. So when you compare that, you're off. And it's always going to look better. There are pros and cons to everything, and we need to look at everything, but we need to fix our own system first before we put our investor money into something else that we don't know the results of yet. I'm not saying charter schools are bad, but let's fix Paterson first. Let's fix our own education system first, and then move on. And if the charter schools want to come in, they need to serve the same amount or closer in percentage to the public schools. You can't serve 1 or 2 or 3%. While the public schools are serving like 15, it's not even close. It's not fair. It's not even a good comparison. It's apples to oranges. So I believe we need to fix our schools first. Look at what we need and fix it. Ask those questions. Demand the answers. And really look at things. Go to the website. Go to the council, to the board meetings. Talk to the superintendent. Talk to the teachers. It cannot be done. I'm sorry, she's
Commissioner.
Let me just say this about the question about charter schools. How many folks were at St. Louis when the governor came? All right, so the point, Casey, I think that you're making, or at least the point that hit me right, that the governor kept saying that if the public schools aren't doing well, we'll give them competition. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, that makes no sense because he's in charge of the public schools. So you're in competition against yourself. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And so, even inherently, what he said is absolutely flawed because you can't. I mean, so you mean tell me you're doing so bad you're going to compete against yourself? I mean, because that's basically what he's admitting to. And in my opinion, that was the biggest takeaway from that is just how offbeat the governor is and how off-center he is that he didn't even realize that. He didn't even get the statement he made was so dumb, it made no sense. And so, this issue for charter schools and comparative to our public schools, it's not just a charter versus public school issue, it's a this governor issue. And if we as a community don't wake up and realize the policy of this governor does not serve people who look like us, black and brown and tan people, then we're going to be in trouble. And so it's a conversation that as a board with our local other elected bodies, with our state legislatures, we've got to sit down and talk about what does it take to change the leadership. So we change the perception of the role of charter schools and the role of public education and the role of local elected people in those positions.
Thank you. Commissioner Simmons?
Thank you. First, I was offended by his comments. One, when he started off with his charter schools, he said he was the Attorney General and he's governor, and he wouldn't have been able to get to that point had not it been for the excellent education that he got in the Livingston Public School System. So I'm sitting there and I'm saying, well, okay, I'm a computer systems engineer. I wouldn't have been able to get to this position had it not been for the public education that I got here in Paterson before state takeover. So, now don't get me wrong, I have nothing against charter schools. I believe parents should have a choice. What I do have a problem with is the process by which charter schools are shoved down our throats. We don't have a say in the process. They just show up, they get approved, they pick the kids, they take the best and the brightest, and the money follows. We have to understand that charter schools are about money. To me, this is my opinion, there is no difference between charter schools and prisons because it is big business. Education is not about education, it is about money. And if we follow the relationships, you would see, and connect the dots, you would see that Commissioner Cerf, the latest charter schools that were approved, you will see that it's the same company. So Commissioner Cerf has come from that company and has ties to those companies. So this is about, particularly in Paterson, North Jersey City, where there is a lot of money. They don't want to give it up because there's too much money to be made for their friends. And we need the community to speak up, come out, like Commissioner Irvin said, let's meet with the local legislators and stop this process.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Conley.
I feel there's not enough chartered schools to go around. What's going to happen to the kids that don't get into these chartered schools? Another thing is it's a gamble. It's a luck of the draw. So we have to, it's not the solution to all our problems. The solution to the problems is to build up the public school up to standards. And what's going on for the gifted and learned students? They get discouraged because they don't have enough gifted and learned schools to go around. And nobody in this room is voted for the superintendent of the Jersey school system. He's appointed by the legislature with the recommendation of the governor. So I think the sooner we get a local, the better, so we have a voice in who's doing what.
Thank you, Mr. Conley.